In this podcast episode, Jack Selby discusses his journey from dropping out of college with one semester to go to working with Graham Stephan on their successful podcast. He talks about how he reached out to Graham persistently via email and eventually landed a position working with him. Jack emphasizes the importance of working for free initially to gain experience and build relationships in the industry. Jack highlights the unique dynamic between him and Graham Stephan, noting that their different approaches to life and work contribute to the success of their podcast. He mentions that their strong relationship and the questions they ask on the podcast play a significant role in its popularity. He also mentions that he spends a considerable amount of time on post-production to ensure the quality of the podcast. Jack reveals that there is good money in podcasting, primarily through sponsorships, Google AdSense, and Spotify ads. He shares that their podcast has seen a significant increase in revenue recently, earning around $32,000 in the past 28 days. Jack also mentions that their income from sponsorships is substantial, but chooses not to disclose specific numbers to protect their rates. Jack talks about his initial struggles with finding meaning in his life and how reaching out to Graham Stephan changed his trajectory. He emphasizes the importance of persistence and working hard, even if it means initially working for free. He mentions that he had high conviction in working with Graham and had a clause in the contract to ensure a minimum income. Jack shares that besides Graham Stephan, he reached out to other influencers like Ethan Klein from H3H3 and Sneeko. While Sneeko responded but didn't pursue further, Ethan Klein did not respond to Jack's outreach. He reflects on how his life would have taken a different path if he had landed opportunities with these influencers. Jack clarifies that while he believes in working hard and making sacrifices for a few years to achieve success, he does not advocate sacrificing an entire decade of his life. He shares personal experiences of working tirelessly and neglecting his health and well-being during certain periods, but emphasizes the importance of finding a balance and not sacrificing one's entire youth for future success. Jack shares his experience with creating TikTok content, specifically street interviews. He talks about how he applied his editing skills to create engaging content that garnered a significant number of views. He also mentions receiving brand deals and sponsorship opportunities through his TikTok content. Despite his success with TikTok, he explains why he decided not to start his own content. He mentions that he enjoys working on other people's projects more and found the street interview content to be somewhat soulless. The conversation shifts to Jack's dating life, where he expresses his struggles in finding a meaningful connection. He discusses his high standards and the lack of chemistry he often feels on dates. He reflects on his Hollywood portrayal of relationships and how it may not align with reality. Jack shares his most controversial take on poverty, discussing the idea of personal responsibility and control over one's life. He believes that individuals have more control over their circumstances than they realize and can make positive changes at any time. He emphasizes the importance of mindset and the ability to overcome challenges through a positive outlook. He continues by sharing his personal experience with ADHD and how he was prescribed Adderall to manage his symptoms. Jack talks about how he initially felt a sense of euphoria and increased focus while on Adderall, but eventually realized that it was affecting his personality and disassociating him from his experiences. He decided to quit cold turkey after a conversation with a close friend who pointed out the changes in his behavior. Jack also touches upon the concept of mental illness proxies, suggesting that some individuals may exhibit symptoms of mental illnesses due to environmental factors rather than a chemical imbalance. He emphasizes the importance of taking responsibility for one's actions and not using mental health conditions as an excuse for negative behavior. He believes that therapy can be beneficial, but warns against relying solely on therapy to solve all problems. He mentions a trend where people use therapy as a justification for bad behavior and blindly follow their therapist's advice without further research. The discussion also touches on the criteria for becoming a licensed therapist, which typically involves completing a graduate degree in counseling or a related field, gaining supervised clinical experience, and passing a licensing exam. Jack emphasizes the importance of seeking multiple opinions before starting any life-altering medication prescribed by a therapist. Jack talks about his strong relationship with God and how his faith has positively impacted his life. He emphasizes the importance of questioning one's faith and how it can lead to a stronger belief in God. The hosts also share their views on religion, with one host expressing his skepticism towards being 100% sold on religion, but acknowledging the positive impact it can have on one's life. They also delve into the concept of faith and how it plays a role in various aspects of life, including belief in the Big Bang Theory. They discuss the idea of having faith in scientific theories and how it is similar to having faith in religious beliefs. The conversation touches on the complexity of the universe and the need for faith in understanding the origins of life.